Quick note. When I recorded this, I totally blanked on the show, book, or song that defined 2024 for me. But guess what? It's definitely How to Die Alone. It hit me right after I finished recording. So consider this my official answer, and let's dive into the episode. Welcome back to another episode of I Pick Passion. So excited that you're here with me today. Welcome, y'all, officially. Welcome to 2025. It is officially 2025. Last week we discussed intentions for the new year, and we discussed winter blues last week, but that was on New Year's Eve. We are officially over the New Year's Day, and I'm so excited that you guys are here. Welcome to 2025. I hope you guys are excited as I am. I'm feeling very, if there's a word to describe the way that I'm feeling right now going into this new year, it would be hopeful. I think that's the word, y'all. I'm feeling very hopeful because the last quarter of 2024, there were some doubts. There were doubts, y'all. There were some doubts. There were some, there were some moments of like, okay, all right, God, like, what are we doing? But I'm hopeful, y'all. I'm hopeful this new year. And let me know, give me one word, how y'all feeling. Like, tell me in the comments. Let me know. Just if it was one word that you could describe the way you're feeling right now in this moment going into the new year, let me know what that one word is. So put it in the comments. Let me know, y'all. Let me know. So this episode is a casual way to connect deeper with you guys. So it's very casual. It's going to be kind of laid back. So, get comfortable. Get comfortable, y'all. We're going to have some fun. We're going to have some fun. Y'all going to get all up in my business a little bit. For this new year. Yeah, get comfy. Just get comfy. So we're gonna do a little bit of a Q&A because we love the Q&A from before that I did. So I was like, you know what? It's been too long already. I need to do another Q&A. So here we go. Here we go. So we're gonna reflect on 2024. We're gonna go back a little bit, and then we're gonna go up. Okay. So what's something that I learned about myself last year? Oh, that's a good question, y'all. What's something that I learned about myself last year? I think I learned that how much more resilient I am than what I realized. I realized how, like, Erica, you got this. You got this. Even when I feel like I am swimming and I'm going nowhere, like I'm swimming in place, and I feel like, Erica, you're not moving anywhere. In those moments, even when I feel like that, I learned that just staying the course, that, it's worth it. Just staying the course and doing what you can do and not worrying about the rest. Like I've learned that I'm stronger than I think. Like I think I've learned my strength in a different way. Like I think I've always knew that I was strong, but I think I learned my strength differently than I believe I've ever learned or I ever knew before. Like I now know that I know my strength. Um, and I'm still learning every day. Don't get me wrong. Please don't get me wrong. I'm still learning, but I'm stronger than I was before. I will say that. I learned that, like, I can do this. I learned to just start the thing. Like, don't overthink it. I have been a chronic overthinker, but I'm learning to just give myself grace and say, Erica, just go for it. Just do it. Like, don't try too much. Figure it out as you go. And it's okay to figure it out as you go. So I think those are some of the things I've learned. I hope that answered the question. Because mind you, I have not read any of these questions. So these are all questions that I'm answering them. I have not had any thought to these questions. So I hope that, 'cause I didn't want to read them intentionally. And that word intention again. I intentionally did not read them because I wanted it to be raw. I wanted it to be raw. Okay, so what's one challenge I overcame that I didn't think I could? I think I already kind of said it. Starting this podcast, honestly, launched the trailer in January of last year. Matter of fact, it was on Martin Luther King Day. I released the trailer and I promoted it on my Instagram that, hey, I'm going to have a pod. I don't know if I put it on all the other socials, but I know I did say it on Instagram. And I sat on it, y'all. Sat on it. Okay. I'd never picked it up again. I had released it. Okay, Erica, you're going to have a podcast. Okay, well, what's going on with the podcast? Here we are now. And when is the podcast? You know, thankfully, nobody questioned me about it. Actually, I think it was mentioned like, hey, you said you were going to do this podcast. But the real pressure was me more than anyone else. It was okay, Erica, are you really going to do this? Okay, Erica, start it. Just start it. Thinking, how is this going to work? How can I do this? Do I want to do visual? Do I not want to do visual? Do I really want to be on camera like that? The mic and all the audio. I was overthinking everything. Finally, I said, Erica, just start it. Okay, and I did. And did. Thankfully, I did because I'm so thankful and so excited about what's to come. This is my baby here. Like, this podcast is a vision that I had, and I believe that this podcast can be great. I can see this podcast doing amazing things in the future, panels and all kinds of things. Like, I wanted Essence Fest. Like, I want this podcast to be a household name in a sense that I want people to maybe say, hey, this podcast helped me. Maybe this is another question. I think I'm jumping ahead. So let me slow down. But I want this podcast to be helpful for people, for the world even. So anyway, let me slow down. I digress. So the challenge that I overcame that I didn't think I could was starting this podcast and sustaining it this far, and being consistent again, because consistency is not something that's not my strong suit. So being consistent, I believe that has been one thing that's been a challenge for me. And even when it gets rocky, even when it's like, how is this going to work? Even when it gets even when I question it, even if I'm like, I have moments where those lonely moments where I'm like, is this podcast, is it even worth me doing it? Is this going to go anywhere? Is it ever going to grow? Is my audience ever going to grow? All those doubts and things that come to my head. Being consistent. I didn't think I could, but I'm doing it. So clap for me, y'all. All right. So also, what's something that I wish I had done differently in 2024? Honestly, I don't know in this moment anything that I wish I had done differently. I can't think of anything that I wish I'd done differently. And I don't know if I should have an answer to that. I feel like if I give it some thought, I feel like I should have an answer to that. But I did improv. Oh, also improv, y'all. I did improv. And I will be doing improv this year. So that, again, this probably is a question coming up. I'm jumping ahead. Okay. So, but improv will be also this year. I'm doing improv again this year, 201. So I'm continuing my improv journey, but that's also a challenge. That was something that I did this year. And again, that goes back to I'm stronger than I think. Like, just go for it, So anyway, something that I wish I had done differently. Honestly, I feel like I don't really know what I would have done differently in 2024 because I feel like I did more than I even expected or knew that I could do. I think I exceeded my expectations of myself. So I really can't think of anything that I wish I could have done differently. Maybe I'll come back to that question. But for now, I don't really know that there's anything that I wish I'd done differently because I feel like it all led me here right now. And I feel like it's all, I took a lot of bold steps in 2024. Yeah. Can't think of anything. Okay. So we're going to get into some personal passions. What's a passion I discovered last year? Improv. Yeah. I think that's a passion I discovered. Something that I didn't know I would actually have a love for. I knew I something I always wanted to do, like in theater and just Broadway. Like I said, when I went to New York last year for my birthday and I saw 2 Broadway plays, like the love and the passion that I have now for theater. Yeah. That's something that I didn't, but it said rediscovered. Oh, I didn't read that question correctly. What's a passion I rediscovered last year? I might still say theater because I always knew I was passionate about theater and I knew to actually do it. And like I said, again, when I went to Broadway, that kind of re-sparked the passion that I kind of always had for it. But yeah, I think that's my only answer right now that's coming to mind, guys. Yeah, theater. theater and improv, like, yeah, I definitely rediscovered that last year, that I knew I always had a love for it, but to actually do it is something different. So, yeah, that's it, y'all. That's it. What's a new hobby or activity I'm excited to try in 2025? Well, a new hobby or activity I'm excited to try in 2025. Well, I'm doing improv again. That's not new. I did that in 2024, but it's 201, so it is new in the sense that it's not what I learned before. It's a step up in the improv world and journey. So it still will be new. I'm excited to continue to learn and explore improv and peeling back layers of myself. I'm excited to take my trip, which, matter of fact, as you are watching this right now, I am probably on the plane, or already in LA right now. So I'm excited about that. That's the activity I'm excited for 2025. It's not a hobby, but it's an activity. So what's a new hobby or activity I'm excited to try 2025? That's new, and it is an activity, and I'm excited about it. So that's my answer. How do I balance working on my passions and personal life? Giving myself grace. That I'm not gonna always have it all. Like, I'm not gonna have it all together all the time. So, today I might be on it when it comes to podcasting, right? But tomorrow I might not be on it when it comes to, I might be like, today, catch me tomorrow. Knowing that I may not always have it all together, I'm only one person. I can't do everything, but with amazing resources and help, I can. And I have to say, I have great resources that do help me with being able to keep it all together, for sure. Because some days I'm like, man, if it was left all up to me, whoop, my goodness, if it was left all up to me, so how do I balance it? Giving myself grace, honestly. Like I said, just giving myself grace, being patient with myself. And that's something that I am, because I'm not always the most patient person, but that's how I balance it, because I don't know that there is really a thing called balance. I think that, you can do the best you can to have it all together, but truth is, like, it's, some days I'm like, you know what, I'm completely on it. I'm this, I check this off my list, this off my list. And then some days I'm like, you know what? Nope. Nope. So it's listening to what you need, listening to your body, and it's that constant, mind body connection. Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. How do I balance? I don't know that I do balance it. I just be doing it the best that I can, y'all. That's it. I'm figuring it out as I go. So, what's been the most surprising thing about starting I Pick Passion? The most surprising thing about starting it is that people actually people be showing up. Like, my audience is still growing. As I mentioned, I am still trying to stay, like, I'm trying to keep the people. I want y'all to stay. The main thing is, I'm gonna tell y'all a story, and I don't think I talked about this already, but a couple of weeks ago, this is when I really started to dive into, well, more than a couple of weeks ago now, but I really started to unpeel, like, okay, all right, Erica, what you got to do, like, really trying to define the brand, define the podcast, because the podcast is a entity of the brand. Okay. That's a part of the brand, because I Pick Passion is bigger than just the podcast. But it's really defining what the brand is and defining the podcast and being specific about those things. So I really started to hone into that probably about a month, or maybe a little over a month ago. If I'm honest, I of course have a YouTube channel. You guys know that. If you don't know, please go check out I Pick Passion on YouTube. So it's a great community, a great little place. It has a lot. You'll learn a lot about me. You'll see my family. It's a lot of fun, and it's a great place to be. But a couple weeks ago, well, like I said, more than a couple weeks ago, it was one night I had posted. Matter of fact, it was when I posted all of the rest of the Thanksgiving shorts. on my YouTube channel, I had some shorts, and I said, you know what, instead of doing a vlog, I'm just going to put, these are all shorts. I'll just post them all as shorts. And I posted them all. I lost, at that time, I have more subscribers now, but at the time, I ended up losing one subscriber. And then that same night, overnight, when I woke up the next morning, I had lost another subscriber. So it was 2 subscribers that I had that I lost. When I tell y'all, and I'm like, I'm already, this is just me being transparent. I'm already trying to grow my audience, right? Like, I can't afford to lose anybody. I want to keep people. Like, I really want to keep y'all around. So trying to figure out, constantly in my head, trying to figure out how I can do that. With me being consistent, figuring out, okay, really defining this brand and everything that I'm trying to do, really locking into that. So when I lost those, it was really almost discouraging when I lost those 2 subscribers. You know, it was like 2 subscribers. I'm barely holding on, But what's been surprising is that I do have support and people have listened. People do show up, and I appreciate those that do. And, please, y'all, support on my socials, my YouTube, and all the things. I'm really trying to step into this content creating and podcasting and all of the things. I'm really trying to step into this journey. So please, y'all, really, please support. And for those that have, I thank you for showing up. The subscribers that I have right now, whether you know me personally or whether you discovered me and my family or my shenanigans or whatever on YouTube, thank you. And I really, really, really mean thank you. So that's been surprising that people actually be wanting to see and have checked out myself and my family on YouTube. And I really appreciate you guys. So that's been surprising. What's one dream guest that I want to have on the podcast this year? One? If I had to say a dream guest, I would probably say Jordan Childs. And I know that's shooting for the stars, right? But hey, shoot for the stars. Yeah, Jordan Childs would be the one if I had to say anyone. I already did send an email, and I'm going to follow up on that email again. And because, you're not, it's a saying, you're not something if you're not trying. But I am trying. But she would be a dream. Like, Jordan Childs would be a big deal. If she supported my podcast and she came on my podcast, what? And that would be amazing. I look up to Jordan. I think she's amazing in what she does at being a gymnast. I think, I don't know, I'm just very inspired by her and just what she does and how she moves, how she, even on her social media, like, I'm just inspired by her and, her videos and her dancing. And I'm just inspired by Jordan. She's amazing. She seems like a really down to earth chick. What's a book, show, or song that defined 2024 for me? Honestly, y'all, I have no idea. I can't think of a song, a book, or a show right now that defines last year for me. But when I think about it, I will let you guys know, because it's a great question and I want to answer it. But when you're trying to think of one, you can't think of anything. Y'all know how it goes. But when you're not trying to think of it, everything comes to your mind. So I would love to give a book, a show, and a song. But I gotta give that some thought, y'all. I'll get back to you. But if I could live anywhere for a year, where would it be and why? Y'all, that's easy. Y'all already know. LA. I already said it. I would live in LA for a year. If I could, that's we're gonna see. That's what we're exploring. We're trying to figure out right now. But where would it be and why LA? Because in my mind, I belong there. I've always felt this connection to I'm not gonna say always, because at one time it was New York when I was younger, and as a journalist, it was New York because that's where all the publications were. That was the hub for Vibe, XXL, The Source, all of the publications. That's where you went, and that's where journalism was thriving for me in my world. And so, well, no, that is where it was thriving. But in my world, it was like, yes, that's where I need to be. But then I thought about how cold New York was. Of course, the cost of living at once upon a time, I was like, definitely a negative. Like, it just never was the right time, and never right circumstance, none of the things. And also me holding, never really putting myself out there to just do it and make it happen for myself. It was a bit of me, actually, majority all me. Because if I wanted to, I'm sure I could have, but it was me holding myself back for whatever reasons that I did. But I'm glad that I did, because cold weather, y'all, snow, all that stuff, all that, no, not for me. But LA, much the weather, and you get that, you get all that, but you don't have to worry about the weather. And so I feel like LA is just, yeah, LA just, I feel like I'm being called there. And when you're being called, you don't really question it. You just do your research and you say, okay, well, hey, we're gonna see. And I'm trying to be obedient in this season of my life, and also doing it scared. I'm trying to just step out there and just be bold, be a little bold with my life, and just like, hey, but not being risky. Okay, but risky, but not risky. Obviously be smart and make stable, smart choices. Uh, but yeah, I wanna step out there and just, so yeah, either way, however it goes, y'all coming along. And so I'm excited. So this year, as a major intention or a mantra that I'm setting for 2025, is to keep doing it scared, but then also be okay with the pivot. Even when it's not something that I thought that I would be doing, or if it's something that I'm like, well, hey, this wasn't my original plan, but here we are. Be okay with the pivot. Be okay with the pivot this year. And so that's what I'm stepping into, you guys. So I invite you all to share your goals or questions for future episodes. I would love to hear from you. And thank you for starting this year with me. And I pick passion. I graciously appreciate you guys for being here. And until next time, y'all, be passionate.